Blog Talk Radio.
Are you ready to take a bite out of the competition? Are you looking for ideas to make your business better? Welcome to the Core Business Show with Tim Jacquet, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. At the core of every successful business, you'll find people making a difference. And with each episode of the Core Business Show, we talk with those people, examine those ideas, and explore the strategies that make them special. Now, the host of the Core Business Show, Tim Jacquet.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Core Business Show. I'm Tim Jacquet, your host. Today I have the pleasure of having Justin Kelley. He's going to tell us the inside view. He's an actor on the Starz hit series called Magic City. If you have any questions, feel free to pose a question in the chat room, or you can go ahead and call in at 347-324-3460. Justin, welcome to the program.
How you doing, man?
Great. A lot of our audience like to hear personal views and how this person came to be. So if you can kind of tell us about yourself and how did you become into acting?
I've been modeling since I was 4 years old. My mom had me doing runway, then she had me in the Florida Sunburst contest, and I've been competing all my life. And then in high school, I got into TV production, drama, and theater and plays. And then in college, I decided this was going to be my career. So I took theater, filming classes, learning the whole behind-the-scenes aspect of it. And then got like 8 agents or so in Florida because they're all non-exclusive. And that led me to Magic City last year. And with Magic City, I was able to get like 3 photo shoots and work like 16 days on the show and work with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Danny Houston, Jessica Moraes, Olga, all the big time actors on the show. It was pretty cool watching how they worked, being a part of that set, being a part of the show, which is got picked up for 2 more seasons, which is pretty incredible. And I'm really excited to see the series go even farther than what's going to be.
Well, tell us about this. Some of our audience know about this particular series. Kind of tell us in a nutshell about this particular series and what your opinion is to make it so popular.
It's based in 1959 Miami, and I believe that everybody is so addicted on sex, drugs, gambling, and the mafia back in that time. So that's what people are really getting a grasp on. And in this world, the Miramar Playa is like it's like a palace. It's a palace full of gambling, full of prostituting, and Ike Evans running the whole business. It's very provocative and sexy. They have a lot of nudity. That's what everybody watches it nowadays. So that's probably why most people get grasp onto it.
Wow. Yeah, I saw the first series. So what is it like, I guess, auditioning when you tell you about this particular show? And what is it like on your first day going there to audition for it?
There's never like a nervousness. I mean, on my first couple auditions I ever did, that's when I was nervous. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. And then after that, you start to get the hang of it, and then you start to get your confidence built up, and your voice complexion never changes. So you walk in the audition, the casting director tells you to slate your name. You slate your name, and then you start reading whatever words they have you do a cold read, or you have it already memorized, or you just give like a 1 minute or 2 minute monologue, deliver that. And from there on, you either make it or you don't make it. There's either a million no's before that one yes. Most people, it takes a million no's before that one yes happens.
And in theory, how long does it normally take? I mean, you do a cold read, or you do something memory, or do you do okay?
I do cold read memories. I right off the bat, I can improv it too. I decided to, and then it takes either a week or 2 weeks to figure out when you get it, or you can get a callback instantly, like the next day. And it's very different on whatever casting agency it is, or how long it takes the director to take a look at it, or if they want to do more looks, they'll take in more people, bring in like 200 more actors to see their look. Very long process sometimes.
It can be either the next day or it can be a whole month or 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you do a cold read, can I explain to the people when you do a cold read, they just hang your script and you add it, or they give you like a 5 minutes to read what's going on?
They give me the character breakdown, and they give me about a 2-minute script to read the character. I can also do video submissions too, and they're starting to do Skype auditions also. I'll do the cold read, I'll have the character down, and I really want to get the character, whatever voice complexion he has, or whatever emotion he's going to deliver. That's what I have to practice and get that down perfect. If I don't get it down perfect, there's going to be somebody else that'll beat me out.
Wow, so it's a really high competitive nature.
Oh yeah. Probably top two competitive with sports and acting.
Wow, sports and acting. So let's back up a second from when you start preparing for college, and you talked about you were doing theater and drama. Tell us how that prepared you to do what you do today.
Theaters, you got to be loud with your voice, and theater also helped me with my memorization. And then TV production was more of you're not loud like you would be in theater to project your voice to the back of the row of maybe 5,000 people in the building. And that really helped me practice, really helped me get character breakdowns and progress in my career. And then in college, that's what really helped me even when I took acting workshops and I was learning with the bigger time, like Jimmy Fitzpatrick. He's a producer and director, and Michael Bay, all these others that I've started to work with. Those are starting to work their way up and starting to learn more and more as I go along and look at how different directors direct and how their actors act also. So, and then early on in the career, it's pretty cool to watch how my career is starting to blossom.
What does it feel like when you leave college and you go there and you do your auditions and you seem like you're making inroads?
It's pretty cool, man. It's starting to be surreal. I'm believing it more and more that it's gonna be true, coming true. And I'm just really excited, man. It's just the sky's the limit.
Wow. When you go into the way you schedule everything all together, you have a casting director. When you sit there and do your audition, so you have a casting director and a director, or is it a panel of people?
There's 3 people that are there with the camera crew, then there's assistant, and then there's another one telling you what to do. And it takes either 20 seconds or it takes a minute, and then you're done. You're out of there. It's in and out usually, but the waiting's usually the worst part because there's 200 other actors there that you're waiting to go, and you're just everybody's thinking, everybody's pondering their lines, who do I got to beat out here? Because they're all different looks, all different ethnicities, all different races. So they don't know, the casting writers don't know what they want yet. And once they see it on the camera, then they'll be like, all right, this is what he delivered. This is what we want. And then they choose from there.
Wow. So how many auditions do you normally do a week?
Sometimes I do 2 or 3 a day. And then once I move out to LA, that's going to be a little bit more, even though that area is so spread out. But sometimes 2 or sometimes 1 or sometimes none. It usually varies whenever.
Do you specialize in a particular thing, or you just go for everything you can get?
I don't want to typecast myself. I'd rather just have it action, drama, comedy. I'll do it all because I want to do it all. I want to be it all. So I don't want to just typecast myself as one certain thing and just open the books for everything.
Typecasting, does that kind of play a negative sense? And typecasting yourself, I mean, the only people will see you in a different role, or
people usually see me in the same role. They'll picture me in this movie as that character. They're like, you're always going to be this character, because there's always an actor. There's always probably an actor that you look at, you'll be like, oh, he's always going to be Spicoli to me. Like Sean Penn will always be Spicoli, because that's how I view certain actors. And then somebody's going to view me as a certain actor. They'll be like, oh, he was in this. He's always going to be considered that to me. So it's different views, different aspects of it. But hopefully I don't get typecasted ever.
Is there really a bad sense? For example, I see some people do the same things over and over. They're steady working, but they do the same thing every movie. But I guess it's a downside. Yeah, you're still working. However, in the other sense, that you might get a major role, or it might come here and there, or hit and miss, or it just really depends.
Yeah, it's either hit or miss usually sometimes. But I mean, if you get typecasted, it's great and all that you're working, but you're always going to be considered that character.
That's it. Wow, supporting character. Wow. We're going to take a break real quick, and we'll be back with Justin Michael Kelley, and we're going to talk more about the stars of Magic City. So we'll be back in one moment.
You're listening to the Core Business Show, sponsored by Apple Capital Group. Apple Capital Group in Jacksonville, Florida, is a commercial lender that specializes in asset-based loans, equipment leasing and financing, invoice financing, commercial real estate loans, and asset-based financing in the U.S. and Canada. Apple Capital Group is a direct lender that lends on their private equity investment portfolio. 90% of most loans are decided within 2 hours, and vendor funding within 24 hours after documents are completed, with a one-page application. No slow no's, just a quick decision and a fast yes. To get more information about lending from Apple Capital Group, call 866-611-7457. That's 866-611-7457 to speak with one of our loan specialists. Or visit us right now at applecapitalgroup.com. Welcome back to the core. Once again, here's Tim Jacquet.
Well, we're back with Justin Michael Kelley. He's going to get us the inside view of Magic City. Tell us about Magic City. I know we talked about it at the top of the hour, but what makes it so special? I mean, there's an exciting series, and it's kind of amazed that someone would take 1959 out of all the periods and talk about the glamour, the style, the mafia, and everything. What attracts people to this series the most?
Mitch Glazer had the script writing down so pat. I believe it's so realism. It came truly out of this, and the set was like so real, man. That was in Miami. I couldn't believe it when I stepped on the first set the first day. I was just truly amazed, and all the other actors were truly amazed being a part of that set. And then the actors portrayed very well acted out, and the writing was perfect. The whole thing was all together. It was just quite amazing. And then the cars I got to drive the cars, man. I got to drive a Rolls Royce from 1959. That was awesome. They're like, please don't floor it. I'm like, I was pretty excited when I got in that car.
Wow. So it's air conditioned, right?
Yeah. It was air conditioned, but it's like the wheels are like bigger than you, and the tires are like full on rubber. It's quite incredible.
Wow. So did they explain where they get these period cars from? They just get from local places collected?
They've had them for quite some time. I know some of the crew members were telling me that it's their car. I was like, oh, this is awesome, man. And they're like, please, it's like a $50,000 car over that. And I'm just, all right. I'm just gonna put it in gear and I'm just gonna go.
Wow.
And I think they had a wreck one too. And I was like, oh no, you throwing that in the river.
Yeah, I saw the one that went down the river, and it mustn't be all together. It must be looking good for the outside, and they probably just threw a shell of a car there, and versus taking a car that they don't need for something else, unless they really know how to put it back together quickly. When they give you the role itself, how long do they normally give you to prepare for that particular scene or that particular episode?
You could come in the next day, and they'll have the script for you right there, and you have to just memorize it on the spot. And
oh wow,
pretty good with that. Yeah, that's what they do. And they got to go fast, and they'll just give it to you right on the spot and memorize these. We're going to film in like the next half an hour. We're going to rehearse.
What advice do you give people in trying to memorize material? I mean, are you memorizing pages at a time, or what works for you?
You try to memorize the first bit of it, and then you read that along to the next line. Just keep reading. Whenever you get both lines down, you keep moving on to the next line. That's how I go about it, and then I read it out loud also, so I can also portray the character too, instead of just reading it in my head. And then you keep getting it over and over again. Just repetition is all you really need to do.
Okay, so you just keep repeating the phrase over and over the page.
Over and over again.
Yeah, until you get it. And they give you a certain amount of time, a few hours or something, until you get it down, correct?
It usually just comes to you, and you get it like instantly right there. Sometimes you're like, oh, you got to retake. You got to do a take over again because you forgot a certain line, and it's just all natural. That's how all actors are.
Wow. And when you look at when you do the series yourself, when you report on set, how is that the inside view? If you look at walking onto the set, is it in the streets, or is it in the is it a room, or is it in a hotel, or is
it's a warehouse?
Kind of explain. It's a warehouse.
It's a warehouse, yeah. The Glades is a warehouse also, and then Burn Notice also has they have a Miami Convention Center, and then this one they believe they rented out a yacht place, Bertram Yacht down here in Miami. That's what they rented out, and they put $3 million production into that, and now they're tearing it down, which is pretty depressing because they're putting a hotel there.
Oh wow! So they spent all this money putting it together, and then they had to disassemble it, of course, when it's over.
Disassemble it all.
Wow! And so, is it like when you report on set, they give you your own dressing room? Kind of tell us when you walk in, what do they normally provide you?
There's a trailer there that you go to. There's a whole like 20 different trailers to walk into, and you sit down, do your makeup, do your hair, trim up your hair if they have to, and then right there from there, you're waiting in the trailer. Whenever they get the shot down, they set the cameras up, and they have those stand-ins there to basically get the focus in on their face and change lenses. It's a whole process. It takes time.
Okay, so they have hair and makeup people to have prepare you guys?
Yeah, there's usually like 3 or 4 of them that are usually attached to one main actor. And like whenever they do final looks, they always go up and they're in their face, touching up and checking their hair, see if there's anything hair sticking up. So gotta look perfect for camera.
Wow. And the rest of you, so they have the main actors, they have their own trailers, and then they have everybody else. They have a series of 20 trailers. And from there, once they ready for the shot, then they just call you, come and do your shot, and that's it?
Yeah, and then they have to do another take. That's it. And then sometimes you get released like after a couple takes. Sometimes it's 12 hours, sometimes it's 15 hours, or maybe it could be half an hour. It would be 10 minutes. It varies from every aspect.
What's the cast like when they're not in front of the camera? So do they goof off and play around? Or?
Yeah, they all goof off. They're when we were like eating snacks, relaxing. They're very funny. Jessica Murray is actually pretty hilarious. She's Ben Diamond's wife, and Danny Houston was very humble too. He was like, whenever we did the photo shoot together, came up to me, shook my hand, we were talking, chilling, and it was pretty cool. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's a very nice guy, so I got to be a part of with him. That was quite cool.
Wow, any crazy stories behind the scenes?
This is not too crazy. They're all just basic mishaps, drops here and there. Nothing too crazy out of the ordinary.
Wow. Any hints about the direction of how the series is going to be going? I mean, you mentioned that got picked up to 2 more seasons. And in the seasons, it's not a season like from fall to spring. It's kind of a mid-season or like a middle of the year.
This is probably going to pick up in the 60s now with the series. And probably more and more gambling, more and more drugs, more nudity. So it's going to be a whole twist to the series, probably more killing. So we'll see how Mitch Glazer wants to write it, wants to script it. I don't know what his ideas are right now.
What kind of an idea regarding when it comes to nudity on the set? I mean, they just walk around, or they just have their robe on until they get ready to do the scene, and when they do the scene, they scene, and then they put their clothes back on, and then disappear.
Usually they're robed up. They're covered by a couple people. It's not usually too many people. There's not that many crew around them, so they feel comfortable when they're doing the shot, even though they're going to be showing themselves off to 1 million people later on down the road. But they want them just comfortable in that scene. So it's in a studio, in a certain area covered around just the cameraman and people all behind the camera looking at the final looks. Everybody's still looking though, so it's pretty funny.
Wow. Any last couple of other things? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years now?
Producing, directing, and starring in some of the biggest films. Right now, I'm high hopefuls on getting my show produced and moving to LA in about 2 months time, and start killing some serious pilots soon.
Wow. Anything yet? Big plans? I know it has also you're working on a pilot for HBO.
Yeah, right now I was on The Black Guy and the Jew. That's he's still finishing the first pilot, and then we're going to start shooting the next 5 episodes on that. And Matthew Nyes, he's a pretty good actor down here in South Florida. He's coming up right now, and me and him are really good friends, and we're going to take it to the top with me and him. And he's getting some big time actors on that right now. We're keeping that secret until it's finalized. But when it's finalized, we're going to release the names of who's going to be a part of the show. But that right there is going to be a pretty big part of the new HBO series.
Wow. So any advice that you have of a person who's looking to get into this particular industry coming up?
They should always be confident and believe in themselves and never give up, no matter how many no's they achieve. There's always that one yes that will be so much greater than all those no's. And you got to have a thick skull. You got to have a thick skull and thick skin for this. Wow. And lastly, how do you manage all of this? Do you have like an agent? You have a manager? You have a publicist? I have a publicist. I have a management. Shannon Rose is a great publicist. He's helping me move my career on even farther. And I have about like 10 agents here in South Florida right now. And once I move to LA, there's one agent that you're going to have. So pretty soon I'm about to drop everybody here in Florida, even though I love them to death. Okay, so you're in Florida right now, but however, when you actually move into Los Angeles, you just have one agent.
Okay. Los
Yeah,
Angeles.
you got it's one exclusive agent, and you usually have one publicist towards your name, and from there on, you can get another management company too.
Okay. And how does it normally work when you have a publicist and you have a manager? You just pay a certain amount every single month, and you just keep them on payroll, or how does it actually manage?
Definitely. Every month you pay them a certain fee, and from there on, they expand you to the media outlets and pretty much put you whatever release a form whenever you're going to do a new project, and just build buzz about you.
Okay. And then from the managers, do they get a certain percentage on what they booked, or?
Yeah, 10% or 20% of whatever they get to be booked on, usually.
Okay,
and,
so that's the incentive.
Yeah, that's the extent of what a management company, and the agent can be 10% or 20% also.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I guess it one manager would probably do, but they work hard for it. So, any last words you'd like to leave our audience?
They can follow, if they want to find any more information about me, they can follow me on Twitter at jkels40. And pretty much I'm going to be on IMDb also, so I'm having an IMDb account. You can IMDb me. Just look forward to what I'm going to be on. There's plenty of stuff coming around.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate it, Justin. You come in and tell us inside views of the Star series and tell us more about yourself. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wish you the best. Take care.
All right.
Again, it's been another production of the Core Business Show with Tim Jakay. Thank you for listening, and everybody have a great day. We do like you to, if you don't mind, write reviews on iTunes about the series. We have had probably for this month alone a lot of downloads. People are downloading these episodes just for this month alone. And we're in our 5th month, but we have probably, I know on the, I think I was looking at the stats this morning, we've had probably just on the site alone nearly 50 downloads on the series across the board. So if you can just write reviews about them, it kind of tells what things that we're covering that is working for you, or some things that you're missing. Because it's kind of ironic. Some of the shows that we didn't think were people going to make comments on, they're making comments on, and they listen to us over and over again. Those were probably some of the ones that we thought are not. So we try to focus on what series that actually that you won't want to listen to. We do 62 shows a month. And because we do these 62 shows a month, we just want to know exactly what you guys want to hear. So again, thank you for listening, and everybody have a great day.
Thank you for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jakay. For a free quote on equipment leasing and financing, visit our website, applecapitalgroup.com. That's applecapitalgroup.com. And fill out the information to receive your free quote. We hope you'll join us for our next episode. And remember, you can always get to the core via iTunes. You'll find all our previous episodes there. Thanks again for listening to the Core Business Show with Tim Jakay.